What is up, everybody? Welcome back for another episode, a very special episode of the giveaway show. This is the Friendsgiving episode. A few of us we got together. We're going to hang out, spend some time chopping it up, talking about some favorite comic characters and comic storylines. As always, I just wanted to make sure and let you know that each and every one of you that watches this, whether you're watching this live or on the rewind, it's just awesome to have you hanging out here and have you being here. And yeah, it's just one of the things that I have to be thankful for. Is a really cool corner of the comic book community that means the world to me. So it's good to see each of you here. We're going to get to the chat in just a second. A couple shout outs I just wanted to make real quick as we get things started. Let's go ahead and go. Here we go. Lone Star Heroes Comics and Toys. I just want to shout them out for being one of the most amazing sponsors ever. They've been sponsoring the channel for over a year now, coming up on a year and a half, and they have 3 convenient locations. Now, if you notice, this graphic, the Lake Jackson address is no longer the correct address. However, if you want to know the location of their Lake Jackson store, the new address, it's down below in the video description, so you can scroll down and find it there. And hey, I highly encourage that if you're one of those ones that likes to brave Black Friday weekend, i.e. the weekend after Thanksgiving, I highly encourage you going and checking them out, because they've got a massive sale going at all 3 locations. They've pulled a ton of books out of storage and are putting it out into the stores. So that all their bins have been refreshed. So and they've kind of done this rotation thing. So all 3 locations have fresh, awesome books for you to find. And yeah, that's right, I'll be out there in the mix Friday and Saturday of this weekend. And that does tie into tonight's giveaways, because for the first time ever, we're going to be doing something a little bit different with tonight's giveaways. Tonight, I'm going to be giving away $20 store credits for Lone Star Heroes. Now, you can use those in 2 ways. You can use that in store at any of their locations, or you can use it on our regular Friday night sales show, Comics on Demand, which is the next thing I want to share with you. So if you're looking for a way to access the really cool stock for Lone Star Heroes, there's tons of amazing books that are available, and that's right. There's multiple ways to access it, but Comics on Demand is the best and the easiest for you. That means on Friday nights when we do this from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., it's a live comic auction and claim sale, and we share books. We share books from inside the store. You can request books, like certain sections of books. We've had all different kinds. You can purchase from there. So yeah, the $20 credit that I give out tonight, you can also access that through Comics on Demand. That means it'll be $20 towards any purchase you want to make. And hey, there have been some really amazing purchases, some great steals and deals. And I know we have some packages to go out, but I'm looking forward to being able to share more of that with y'all. So with that said, I'm going to go to the I'm going to jump in here to the let's see. All right, let's take a look at the chat that we've got here tonight. All right, Las Cruces 1971, good to see you, buddy. Shelby's Comics is here hanging out with us in the stream. Dagger Cars, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Let's see. What's up, Liz Barnes? Glad that you're here hanging out as well. Phil Ailing, Australian AC, glad that y'all are here. What's up, Gerald Yates? Good to see you as well, buddy. Dagger Cards celebrating 7 months. Has it been 7 months already? Lucky 7, only 3 days left in my Loring Consistency Challenge in support of Soldier On, and then I can finally rest my legs for a bit. Yeah, Dagger Cards, man, he's all about these fundraisers. So shout out to Dagger for consistently being a channel member. Same to Gerald Yates, as well as Liz Barnes. Glad that all of y'all have taken a plunge and jumped in and been a part of the supporting the channel directly. Thanks again also to all those who are supporting by just watching the ads and doing everything else. what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to send it over to our first panelist, Shelby's Comics. Shelby, say hi to everybody and let them know what you've been up to recently.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Well, I hadn't been up to a whole lot, just hanging around. Still, it's like a comic shop and toy store in my own house, man. So there's always something to do around here. You got Jack holding down the table here, and the kitty cats are looking forward to some turkey tomorrow. So
nice. Now, do they what dishes or parts of dishes do they get to partake in?
The parts of the turkey.
Well, just like what dishes? Like, do they just eat turkey, or do they also like gravy or stuffing, or?
Oh yeah, no. They're strict carnivores. And it's just me, so I just buy like a 2-pound turkey breast and heat that up and I slice off some for them and put it in little bowls and stuff. So yeah.
Nice. Man, that sounds awesome. That sounds really fun. Let's take it on over to Jen, the future Batman. He's actually out cruising Gotham City in the Batmobile.
What's up, y'all? How you guys doing? So I just spent some time with my family, and I wasn't going to miss out on this show. Every other week I tune in, and I always appreciate you guys tuning in. So only works both ways, right? So hopefully everybody is having a great Thanksgiving week, and if you aren't, you will have one, and it's going to be amazing. And just check out all these sales, man. It's sales left and right. There's so many things going on right now. It's so awesome. This future looks good. All right. So, and continue to tune in to the future Batman as he cruises down 59, aka 69. Apparently our road is called 5969. So, anyways,
I want to hear like minute by minute reports of what kind of
the traffic and stuff. Yeah, give us the traffic report.
Here's Jen, folks, with traffic. All right. Okay, so tonight we're gonna do a couple of things. So I kind of thrown this on the guys. It has been a week. But I'm thankful and excited to be here and glad to be here and very, very, just happy to get to do this. Like I've shared before, this is one of the highlights of my week. It's just to get to hang out with everybody and to just talk about comics and hear about comics. And I learned plenty from you, the chat, and from the rest of the panel, as well as I'm sure you pick up tidbits every time that we're on. So tonight, what I had mentioned to the guys was to do starting off with kind of, are there any comic books or comic storylines that we're individually thankful for? For all kinds of different reasons. And I'm going to lead off with this because there was a few that I had wanted to share, including some that I have never shared. Some of these you're like, okay, yeah, look, we've heard you talk about this a million times. But yeah, I'm going to start with kind of one of the most special ones to me. So this is an old, and I'm going to open it up for the guys to jump in, and if they have something that they want to share. So this is, let me see which printing this is. Yeah, okay, so this is copyright 1998. The storyline came out in 1996. So I've mentioned it and talked about it, but I've never shown this in this actual exact graphic novel before. So the Nightwing ongoing comic series from from the late 90s. It was written by Chuck Dixon with art by Scott McDaniel and inks by Carl Story. was a hugely pivotal comic series for me. The reason I'm thankful for it is because this is actually the comic series, and this exact copy right here, this graphic novel, is the actual graphic novel that got me back into comics as an adult. You know, like a lot of people, I had been into comics, you know, when I was in early adolescence, like middle school, and would pick them up and had some from then. But then, you know, throughout high school, you know, you start to grow and your world starts to broaden, and there's a bunch of other things that get introduced, and you start going in a bunch of different directions, and then college comes, and I found myself in my latter 20s, I was, you know, I just wandered into a comic shop, and I just asked the clerk there, and I wish I could remember his name because, man, he's the whole reason that any of this even exists, because I just said, hey, you know, what's good, what's new, what's out that's, you know, that I could pick up and read. And I kind of gave him a couple of parameters. I told him, I said, I'm looking for, you know, kind of like a character maybe in my age range, and I'm looking for somebody, you know, I'm looking for cool artwork, and I'm looking for, you know, a cleaner book, you know, maybe that doesn't have a lot of real gritty and you know, adult content in it. And what he recommended was, I mean, something I said sparked it off, was this exact copy of Nightwing, A Night in Bloodhaven. This is the first storyline from the original ongoing Nightwing series, where he first, the whole Bloodhaven location is introduced, and where we start to meet his cast of characters, his rogues, the beginning of his rogues gallery, which, I mean, Nightwing has one of the most underrated rogues galleries in comic book history, you know, I mean, just comic books, period, because there's some really bizarre characters that are really fun to read, and I'm sure must have been fun to write. So something about the artwork, what's up, El Green? Good to see you, buddy. So something about the artwork, something about the storyline, it just captured me. It captured my attention, and I went ahead, like, I bought this exact. So I've had this for probably about 20 plus years. I've had this exact graphic novel in my collection, you know, on my bookshelf, and I just wanted to share it with you and say, hey, look, this is a really good story. You know, if you want like a classic Batman-esque Bat family story, then this is a great one to have. It's called Batman and Bloodhaven, and it's you know, there's later editions of it now. You can also, these are not like super expensive books, so you can find these, the individuals themselves. But yeah, this great book, and it's just a really cool kind of, I don't want to call it coming of age, but it's basically the thing I related to it at the time, in my 20s, was somebody coming out of the shadow of his mentor into his own. And that's something that we all do in our 20s, and at the time it truly spoke to me, was that kind of idea of coming out into our own. It's not coming of age, but us stepping into full maturity as an adult, and kind of our own world being established separate from our parents. And so, yeah, so this was really cool story. Really thankful for it, because it's what got me, like I said, it's what got me back into comic books. So Nightwing, A Night in Bloodhaven. It does feature guest appearances by Batman and Robin, and a just killer knockdown brawl between Nightwing and Blockbuster, who was a massive, towering character that fights against Nightwing in this one. So this will always have a special place in my heart and on my bookshelf. So that's my first one to share, Nightwing, A Night in Bloodhaven. I have several more here that I pulled that I'll share throughout the night, but I wanted to open it and see if Liz Barnes, you would love this. Okay, so this is from, if you already have the first ongoing series for Nightwing, if you already have those first 6 or 7 issues, that's what this is. This is a collected trade paperback for issues, I think 1 through 6 or 1 through 7 of his first ongoing title. And so they collected it and they called it A Night in Bloodhaven. So Liz, man, I didn't even make the connection while I was talking about it. If you've never gotten a chance to read his early issues, it's stellar. It's really great stuff. So Nightwing, A Night in Bloodhaven was published in this trade paperback came out in 1998, and then the series itself was published in '96. So that's one that's the first one I'm thankful for. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the rest of the other two guys and see if they've got anything, if they've got the storyline or anything they want to share.
Yeah, I mean, I can go. I'm still driving, but I can keep the focus on. And hey, so who I'd like to thank, whether she's watching or not, is I know she's probably taking care of the kid right now, but I'd like to thank my wife for everything that she is. Just a real beautiful person inside out. We had a child this year, so I'm blessed and very thankful that that I'm able to be a father and just be there for the and it just changes you. I wanted to thank God and just her and just everybody in my life that was there, for all that. And I would like to be thankful for having just good, positive people in my life. Some being like Carlos, Mr. Collects, just a good dude, good person. He bought everybody, for those that don't know, what kind of person Carlos is, he, he doesn't pay us or anything to get on this channel. We just go on, we genuinely just love helping him out and getting on here because we like hanging out with him. And he went out of his way and he got us all matching backpacks, like Jim Lee limited edition backpacks. Then he took us out to the movies, at the end of the last season. And just, I'm very thankful for having, people like that, someone like Carlos, even Paul. He's not with us right now, but Paul has his moments, same thing, just good just good people, and I'm sure some of you guys who are tuning in, you have people just like that in your life that you're thankful for, and gives you reassurance and humanity and so forth. Give me 1 second, trying to okay right here. So anyways, I can't because I'm on video call, but I'm gonna let this guy go through and go from there. So anyways, that's what I'm thankful for. I'm sure there's other things on my mind, but I'm multitasking right now, not trying to hit anybody. Anyways, the other thing is we have I guess we said comic books. If there was a comic book that I'm very thankful for existing, would be Kingdom Come. It's one of my favorite comic books to this day. Also, like the first Superman comic book to ever exist, Action Comics #1, because without Superman, there really wouldn't be other superheroes and what we have today. Because remember, before Superman, we had Hercules and Popeye, Phantom. We had Namor, which wasn't even a Marvel character. Shazam, which wasn't even he didn't come into play yet. But we didn't have like superheroes. We didn't have superheroes like the way we have superheroes today, and a lot of it has to do with basically Superman being pushed and everything. So that's why whenever you guys see how crazy or whenever you guys have like Superman versus this or that, he may be my favorite or kind of up there my top 5 guys, but there's a special spot for him because of the history behind the character. So yeah, definitely very thankful for that. And Kingdom Come, Mark Waid. I'm thankful for storylines like what's that comic book that came out? It was The Heart of Hush. So that's one of my favorite storylines. That's made me believe in Batman and true love and all that. For those that haven't read The Heart of Hush, Hush 2 is coming out at the end of this year. But what you don't know is that Heart of Hush is actually 1.5. It's a sequel to Hush, but it's when Hush steals Catwoman's heart, and he finds out how much Batman is in love with Catwoman, which is why I always shipped them. I've never shipped Wonder Woman and Batman, but in that story, Batman actually cries. So it's you don't ever see him cry, but he actually spills his heart out to Catwoman, and he actually tells her that the reason he's Batman and the reason he does all these things, the reason he's so complicated is because of her, and if there's not her around, there's not him, and he continues to open his feelings for her. Her heart rate is decreasing, and you think that she's gonna die, so he starts crying, and he eventually says all these things, and then she, as he weeps, she says, "Go on," and then immediately it gets you into the comic, and you appreciate writing, even though artwork is horrendous, atrocious. Actually, the artwork is probably one of the worst artworks that I've seen it's like a third grader or a second grader crayon to draw.
You're just building it up, now you're tearing it down.
Yeah, I'm just saying you gotta hear, you see the, I'm real about stuff, man. I don't hold back. If I like it, I like it. If I think that something can be better, I'll tell you. So I love the story. I love how, they do that whole thing, and he tells her he loves her, and that's where, you ship them. That was one of my favorite stories. I want to thank, the writer. I can't even remember the writer of the story. I'm having a brain fart here, but The Heart of Hush was one of my favorites. What was it? A season for Superman. It's called 4 seasons for Superman.
Superman for all seasons.
Yeah. Superman for all seasons. That was a really good one. The Man of Tomorrow. That's a really good one. A lot of people don't understand, but Superman has had some really great graphic novel / arcs. Even Godfall was really good. Mostly, I'm very thankful for, Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run. It really revolutionized the Green Lantern in our eyes. I want to thank George Perez, rest in power, and Neil Adams, rest in power, for all the things that they contributed. Jack Kirby for all the things that he did, or the art industry. He doesn't get credit enough for a lot of the stuff that he did with creating some of these characters. Everybody thinks that Stan Lee created characters like Wolverine and then he had nothing to really do with Wolverine. That was Herb Trimpe and Lei Win, so those were the creators, but Stan Lee is always going to be the man, but there's a reason we call him King Kirby. Okay, so I want to thank every artist out there and every writer out there that's contributed to some sort of literature to shape someone's life, and I know that some of you that are tuning in, you have a favorite writer, you have a favorite artist, and I know that you've read a story that was very powerful, or a poem like, say, Maya Angelou, Still I Rise, something like that, that you can appreciate. But yeah, man, I will say, that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for every little thing that I've read that's shaped my character, even if it's offended people, because I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't expose myself to these things, absorb this knowledge. But overall, I'm appreciative. Oh, okay, right, and rant, or and grace, or whatever you want to call this. I'm gonna I stick over as I hopefully run to my laptop and you guys can see better. So we'll go from there. All
right, buddy. Thanks for sharing, Jen, and we'll pick you up on the other side. I'm going to pass it over to looks like Jack, co-starring Shelby. Shelby, what do you got for us?
We got the boss here, Jack, making sure it's all okay. So
calling the shots.
That's right.
He looks like yeah. Try me.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, we'll start out with see if we can get both of this in here. So we'll start out with what we're thankful for. Things have been up and down the past couple of years for me personally, my life and such. And don't put your paw on the keyboard. One thing, and it's not just sucking up because I'm on the show, is Carlos. I'm definitely thankful for Carlos. There's a lot of talk about community and things like that. And Carlos and I, Jack. Sorry. I'm trying to not be distracted. All right. But, I've been on a lot of shows. I've done my own shows. I've been all around the comic community over the past, I know my YouTube channel this month hit 4 years. Almost 400 videos. Still don't have over 600 subscribers. Not sure why. But, shameless plug there. But Carlos always reaches out. He always reaches out. He always checks in, and especially when I need an uplift, he seems to always be like, hey man, why don't you just come on the show, hang out, we'll talk. And, and we've had a couple of great conversations, like maybe driving across town, something like that, and get on the phone and talk and stuff. So I'm really appreciative to Carlos. Carlos is the embodiment of what this community should be about. And his kindness and generosity, he's definitely the salt of the earth. And for that, my friend, I appreciate you. I appreciate you always inviting me on and talk me up so nice. And I'm not sure if I could ever repay the friendship you've given me over the years. So thank you so much.
Oh man. Oh shucks.
Oh shucks.
I know. I don't know what to say about that. Guys, I did not put them up to that.
We are not hired.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely thankful for and I think, and see, this is the hard part, right? Because I'm like a face on a screen, and like it can just come across so cliched to tell people that this is one of the highlights of my week. And so, like, I say it a lot, and I always wondered, do people really understand that it is legitimately one of the highlights of my week? There's a time to get to with other like-minded people whose company I enjoy, when it comes to the panel, and to just put it out there and open it up and just say, hey, listen, Some weeks there's been a lot of prep time. Some weeks there's been very little. But to still get to just talk about comic books, I don't get to do that in everyday life.
No,
It's like, it's special to get to do this and have this kind of rapport, like with you, the viewer, like with you who are watching, and the people that I know. A lot of us have connected on Instagram and talked and traded messages and stuff. And but to get to actually interact, to talk, and to just really share from our hearts, because this art form is so broad in its appeal to people. I think one of the only things that we're probably in common with is kind of our age brackets. But even then, I have I'm teaching, and I have students at the middle school age who love comic books. I'm able to give them a bunch of comic books regularly, like if they're well behaved. There's one class that I don't know if they're going to get comic books again because of the way they were behaving before the break. But it's just to get to connect with other, like with peers, and talk about this hobby, and then hear about this hobby. Because there's countless times when I hear from like people like Shelby and Jen and Paul and JT and all these other different people that come on about the different shows that they really, really like. The different comics that they really like. And that really gets me excited and moving in different directions. Like, I think recently there was a Batgirl title that I had kind of just passed over, and Jen shared about it. And after that, I started picking them up when I came across it. And so that was just one, just one of those neat things that happens. And so I'm thankful, just incredibly thankful for this community, and for those who plug into this channel and connect to this channel, and just to be able to have that conversation, that two-way conversation with everybody. I wanted to share one more book, or I wanted to share another book real quick that I'm thankful for. Jen stole my thunder a little bit. I was going to share about Kingdom Come, which is another one of my favorite comics of all time that I'm thankful for. The reason I'm thankful for this one is, and I actually got to, you can see it here on the channel, I got to interview Mark Waid, the writer, and this was one of the ones that we talked about, and he signed my trade paperback for me. But I got to talk to him, and I'm just a fan, so I just kind of, without going too much overboard, I just wanted to know certain bits and pieces about the lore of how this was created. And I know there's a new documentary coming out that Alex Ross is really pushing about the creation of Kingdom Come. So I'm interested in finding and watching that, of course. But it was just neat to get to sit down with Mark Waid and hear his take. And the interview's here on the channel. If you scroll down on the homepage, it's under the creator interview section. It was a few years ago when I did it. But one of the things that I'm thankful for in Kingdom Come is that they took an ancient text that I have connected with, and that is kind of something I try to let guide my life, which is the Bible. But he took part of the Bible and then wove superheroes into it, the mythology of superheroes into it, and took the book of Revelation, which is the account of the end of the world, and he injected superheroes into it. And I thought that was one of the most neat things that we can do, because I'm definitely not one of those ones that would, hold the Bible and say, well, you can't ever touch it or you can't do anything with it. Because I think the more times like this, when it's explored and adapted, I think it's helpful because it draws us closer to the original text. And I just really, really appreciated that about this story. And then to sit and hear that he, a long time ago, had come from a similar faith background that I'm in now, was just neat. It was neat. And I'm not speaking for him or putting words into his mouth. I'm just saying that it was neat to see that two things. One thing that's kind of at the center of my life, my faith, and then comic books, which is a huge part of my life. To see them woven together. So, and I didn't just I don't just recommend this. This is the 4-part miniseries, but this is also the Elliot S. Maggin novelization. Well worth picking up because it does have a lot in here that is different than the trade. So I suggest getting both of them. I don't know. I'd have to dig them out, but I do have the individual books all signed by Mark Waid, not Alex Ross himself, and so I keep those as well. But I just love the story that I wanted to get both versions of it, that are told here, and these are slightly different, but then I also got the individuals. So yes, it is Dagger Cards. And I understand there's those who do not place it kind of at the center of life, and that's their individual path and their individual choice. But I just love this series because it's mythological. It goes to the very core of what we call mythology, like in comic books, and it just explores it and takes it out and unpacks it and turns it around. So let's go ahead and real quick, let's bring everybody on, and we're going to go do the first giveaway. So like I explained at the beginning, what you're winning tonight is a $20 credit for Lone Star Heroes. Comics and toys for the store. It's $20 to be used however you want at their store. It can be, you can, if you're local to the Houston area, you can go by and you'll have $20 store credit there. Or if you're virtual, tune in on any of the Friday night Comics on Demand episodes and you can spend it there. You can apply it to any book you want, even if the book is under $20 and you'll get it completely free. That's okay. I'm footing the bill on this one. All right, so we're going to give out.
Can I spend it on toys?
Absolutely, yeah. Anything in their store, you can put the $20 towards anything in their.
Statues?
The what?
How about statues?
It'll be a drop in the bucket for the statues, but yes, yeah, they can put it towards a statue. They can put it towards.
So anything in the store.
Anything in the store, $20. Anything in the store. And and it's yours to spend how you'd like. And especially even also if it's on special, there's no limitations on it. So if it's an item that's on sale, it's normally $40, but it's marked down to $20, right, you're walking out the door with that for free. So so that's the deal. It's hashtag $20. I see Wolverado just popped into the chat. So y'all make sure and check it here. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Make sure that if you haven't, that you go ahead and enter to win. All right, so hashtag $20. Looks like we got 10 people. We got low viewership tonight. I get that. It's Thanksgiving week. People are traveling. People got lots going on. But yes, $20 to spend as you like. There he is. All right, $20 to spend as you'd like in the Lone Star Heroes Comics and Toys shops, any of their 3 ones. And here's the cool part. I'll go and throw this in there. Hey, if you happen to win and you want to tune in to a quick live stream that I'll do this weekend, we'll actually live broadcast looking around and seeing what your stuff is, if it works out. You don't have to. I don't have set times for them. I'll be broadcasting once on Friday and once on Saturday, just from the phone, from their store, from 1 or 2 of their stores. And so, we can do it that way. But I'm excited that y'all are here and that y'all are joined in. Oh, I see Airwolf jumped in. All right, cool. All right, let's go ahead and bring it up. And here we go. All right, so hashtag $20.
There you go. Good luck, everybody. And remember, it's anything in the store. Comic books, toys. If you got games, you can buy a game. You can buy a collectible. You can buy a statue. Oh, the magazine, that's endless. It
really is endless. All right, here we go, folks. In 3, 2, 1. Good luck. There we go.
And we're going. Oh, it's going to be Carlos again, maybe.
Liz Barnes. Congratulations, Liz Barnes.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Liz
Bong.
All right, Liz Barnes, I got you down for $20. Hey, here, I'll show y'all. Just kind of look, because they've got so much cool stuff. Check it out. At one of the Comic On Demand episodes, this came up for sale, and I just said, I've got to buy this, because it's just so much nostalgia, so much feel, so many feels. Check it out. Return of the Jedi. Do you remember these, Shelby?
Looking records, man. I remember sitting there next to my little bitty
that little brown
cheap record player with my ear to the speaker. Oh,
that
exactly.
Those things are awesome. So here's the deal. Like Shelby was pointing out, and I'm telling you, it's not just comics. So look, check it out. Here's the actual. So I now need to find a record player because I want my girls to hear this and experience it. I'm even going to make my son, my 20-year-old son, sit down with me and listen to this. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh,
doesn't that bring back all the memories?
I'm sure I owned that whenever I was a kid. I loved them. And you're right. There's a certain nostalgia and stuff.
It's just so cool.
It taught you to read. I think it reads along with you, right? And I know that was the big thing that my mom appreciated was it reads along with you, so you can follow the words, see the pictures. Yeah, just like I said, see the pictures, hear the record, read the book. Yeah,
so such cool stuff. So things like this, there's a ton of different things that you can use or that you'll have access to. So hey, we're going to do one more giveaway for the $20 credit before we wrap for the night. We'll do one more. I'm going to share with y'all I see already. Liz is excited because she's seeing the possibilities of what could be hers for the grabbing. All right, congratulations, Liz. Glad that you're here and that you won it. What's up, Louis V? Good to see you, buddy. Glad that you're here hanging out with us. Wolverado says that's $20 of Nightwing comics. They have a ton of Nightwing comics. She says exactly, Wolverado. The OG Hooked on Phonics. That's right. I'll tell you, those things, and they were cool because I think they were like kind of like dramatically read. So I'm looking forward to playing it. I might even play it on one of the episodes so that people can see or can hear it if you've never done it. Like if this was before your time, I'm telling you, you're missing out on some of the best stuff. So really great. It was audiobooks before audiobooks were a thing. All right, so let me bring it back out here. I'm going to do one more giveaway, one more $20 credit for anything in their store that you want. My treat. And we're going to do one more of those before we wrap for the night. So I'm going to get that set up. In the meantime, Jen is back in the studio, and I'm going to see, Jen, you got anything else to share with us about just kind of thankfulness or?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is there a character that you're thankful for?
Yeah, I mean, see, guys, one of my favorite characters of all time, so everyone thinks it's probably like Superman, so which, it can be. I'm a huge fan of The Darkness. That was one of the characters, Mark Silvestri and Michael Turner. A lot of those guys are the reason that I got into comic books. There was, I do want to thank this one guy. I don't know if he's alive. He was very obese when I was like a kid. He was like a comic book guy when that you see on like The Simpsons and stuff. So I'm not sure if he's alive, because people usually get like, health problems and they pass away. And he was much older than me when I was like 9 years old. But he was so nice. He was such a nice guy, and he got me into really appreciating and loving comics. And his name was James. That's all I remember is his name is James. The guy that used to own Midnight Comics, John. I became good friends with him, but the person that managed and ran the store was James. His business partner was Joe, and I think he eventually ended up selling that portion back to John, and then eventually Comic Palooza came what it is today once he sold his store. So I just want to thank James. I want to
thank him for introducing me to great storylines and really making me appreciate older characters, which at the time I was kind of stubborn. I didn't want to collect Golden Age or Silver Age comics, or I didn't care about stuff like that. I only cared about what was going on at that time in my life. And I just want to thank him for attempting that and educating me. And I don't know if he's alive out there, but if you are, and I hope you're happy and you're well, and I hope you live a long life. Anyways, I would say Doctor Doom would be one of my favorite characters of all time, and like he is probably the most misunderstood character. I believe a fan had asked Stan Lee, "Is your favorite villain of all time Galactus or Doctor Doom or Thanos?" They were going down a list of who Stan Lee's favorite villain was, or which was one of his most beloved created villains of all time, and Doctor Doom was thrown out there, and I believe Stan Lee had said, "Wait, did you just call Doctor Doom a villain?" Doctor Doom is not a villain. He's the antagonist of the story. He is the bad guy of the story that's related to the Fantastic Four. But if you look at Doctor Doom and everything that he represents, he's just like every other man. He wants power, and I didn't, when I heard Stan Lee say that, I started, reading more Doctor Doom stuff. And one of my favorite Doctor Doom stories, and this is where I actually agree with Stan Lee, one of my favorite Doctor Doom stories of all time is Triumph and Torment. It's a Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange story, and in this story, Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange are going at it. They're competing against becoming Sorcerer Supreme. That's actually the first time Doctor Strange becomes Sorcerer Supreme. But the Ancient One tells Doctor Strange after he wins that you have to do anything the person you defeated has a request of. So Doctor Doom just kind of goes, okay, I have my request is that you help me defeat Mephisto. And Doctor Strange is like, okay, why would I do that? And he's like, well, Ancient One says, well, that's his request. You can't question his reason. He's like, well, I think it's a trick. And then as they're going down to the layers of hell, Doctor Doom tells Doctor Strange, every year I fight Mephisto, and I fight him, and a portion of my powers gets given to Mephisto, including portions of my soul. And the bargain is, if I defeat Mephisto, I get my mom's soul back. Because Doctor Doom went through years of history figuring out what happened to his mom. Well, his mom was a gypsy, and she sacrificed her soul to save Victor Von Doom, which is Doctor Doom. And so Doctor Doom fights Mephisto to get her soul back. And and the more I read the story, the more emotional I got, because it's a really well written story. And so he eventually goes to the layers of hell, and he tricks Mephisto using Doctor Strange's powers of Sorcerer Supreme now. And he also tests his mom. He tricks. I don't want to explain too much of the story, because I think it's a story that every person should go out of their way to read. But it's a story that explains his thought process and why he is the way he is. And in that story, he saves her soul, and he eventually replenishes it, and she goes to heaven and all that. And It's just that Mephisto is kind of out for him. That, you know, once the story's done, you realize why Doctor Doom has such bad luck at power, because you see Mephisto sort of in the way of manipulating him and so forth and all that. So that was one of my favorite stories. Made me realize that Doctor Doom is actually he's a badass. He's a total awesome character. He's one of the very few characters who has slapped the crap out of Mephisto, tricked Mephisto, and gotten his way. And so that was one of my favorite stories. And another story that I'm really thankful for is Emperor Doom. I actually have there's only one signed copy out there by Stan Lee, and I own it, and it's a 9/8.
Oh, wow.
And so I was really happy and blessed to have that. And in that story, they show a world of peace, prosperity, no famine, disease. Everyone is at bay. I mean, nobody, Galactus is scared to attack Earth. It's because Doctor Doom is the Emperor. And this also plays a big part in Secret Wars, where Doctor Doom goes through these multiverses and he sees what would happen if he ruled. And the only catch is he's using Purple Man's mind control to manipulate everyone around him. So he's actually a dictator. The only person that he can't manipulate using Purple Man's power is Wonder Man, which is such a lame character. He's such a trash character. But anyways, part of the story, he's a big part of this story, because at any other story, Wonder Man's treated like the backup of the backup. Like he's the guy that watches. He's like a tower watcher. Like nobody cares. But he ends up becoming that guy that kind of, okay, let me go after Captain America, get him out of the manipulation, mind manipulation, and then eventually he gets all the Avengers out of the mind manipulation, and they take down Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom tells them, "You guys are all idiots." He goes, "There was no disease, there was no famine, everyone was happy." And he was like, "Yeah, but you're a dictator, and you took away free will." And he's like, "Your free will is total propaganda." And he tells them, like, you need someone to think for you, because you're too stupid to think for yourself. And the more I read about Doctor Doom, the more I start realizing he really is intelligent. He says everything that we all think when we see someone that's idiotic on the news saying something stupid. He's the guy to call them out. Anyways, that was another story that I was really appreciative of when I read it. Then again, the more I read these stories, the more it made me realize, man, when I met Stan Lee, I told him, I agree with you on Doctor Doom. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "He isn't a villain." Oh, he's like, "Oh, no, he's not. He's not a villain." And he's like, and I go, "No, I agree. I mean, I read these stories, and I'm starting to see more and more that he's just the antagonist of a story. Just like how and someone in here, you're an antagonist of someone else's story. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There's someone out there right now that does not like you, and you're their antagonist. And that's the best way to put it, But yeah, that's one thing I'd like to say. I don't think I have anything else to add on to that. Those are the two stories.
Thanks for sharing it, Jen.
Yeah,
I mean, what they say, like Doctor, are like the best. Some of the best antagonists are the ones that are just kind of one small step away from where we stand, And I think, Doom is an incredibly complex character. And
I just hope they do him right, because Robert Downey Jr. is not my first choice. I mean, Mike Mickelson was a good choice. Shoot, man. I mean, Henry Cavill looks like him. I mean, he wouldn't have been my first choice, but if you're gonna choose someone that's Doctor Doom, choose someone that's, from
like traditionally
from-
traditional Doctor Doom. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm real
So you're-
interested in how they work it. I feel like the announcement needed context. I think that's why it's been so mixed, because people don't really have a full understanding of what they're.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We are all antagonists. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, really, truly, none of us are perfect, and we should be thankful for just being human, man. I mean, we try to be the best. Some of us try to be the best that we can be, and some of us are opinionated, such as myself. And I know you, and I think that's what makes us beautiful in many ways. I mean, each and every one of you have your own opinions, and I value them. If I don't agree with all of you, and I'm sure you guys don't agree with me, and it's maybe 50% of the time or 70%, but I know one person, Paul's always wrong. Okay, so let's just put it. He's probably like, what?
What? Not being here, yeah.
Paul, because Paul's fault, and he's always wrong. Right?
All right, so a couple more I'm going to share real quick. I'm going to take the opportunity to share, and then we're going to do our last giveaway. Remember, hashtag 20smackers. This is $20 in store credit at Lone Star Heroes, any of their 3 locations, whether remote or whether you are here in town. It's on me. $20 towards sales there. All right, so a couple more storylines that I'm thankful for. I know this one's controversial because of what happens to one of the characters that kicks off the whole thing, but the idea of a murder mystery using the cast of DC Comics and making instead of going like with it being a massive cosmic event, scaling it way down to an almost impossible murder mystery. Identity Crisis is one of my favorites of all time, because I had become familiar with Brad Meltzer as a novelist first. So when I found out, and I loved his books, and so when I found out that he was doing comics, because he did a run on Justice League of America, and then he also did Identity Crisis, this was amazing to me. It was awesome to get to meet him and have both he and Rags Morales. It's a funny story. Both of them signed this book on the same night in 2018. They just happened to both be in town on the same night for 2 different reasons. And it was kind of cool because I went to go see Rags Morales at a local comic shop where he was signing in conjunction with a convention that was happening. And so I went to go see him. I had him sign all my books, because he signed all the individual issues plus this. And and I mentioned to him, I was talking to him for just a couple minutes, and I mentioned to him that Brad was also in town. And he said, really? And I said, yeah. I said, he's signing at a Books A Million store because he had this series of children's books that had come out. And so he was doing a signing mainly for those books. Rags was doing for comics at 2 different locations. One of them was in Houston proper, the other one was in Katy. And so I left from the Rags Morales signing and then drove out to Books A Million and got in line. And then my wife came out there and met me, and I bought her a set of the kids' books because they're children's biography books. Bought her a set for her classroom because she was teaching 1st grade at the time. He signed it for her class, and then he signed my comic books, Brad Meltzer. So just a lot of fun. And then he threw that little My Hero in there, which I thought was funny. But yeah, this is just, I know it's controversial, but the thing there was so much I loved about this story that was such a small story, that was on a small scale, but it had grand repercussions because several characters died, including one of my favorites, the original Firestorm, was killed in like a very brief exchange of panels in this series, as well as several others. So it was great series, beautiful Michael Turner covers that he did before his passing. And so, yeah, it's one of the ones where I loved it because it's hardbound. Yeah, it did. Southern Comic Geek says Identity Crisis is good because it put lesser known characters at the forefront for a change instead of always using the DC Trinity. Which, yeah, I mean, he pointed that out, and that was great. It was essentially, like, it was definitively pushing the big three out of the way, and this was, the kind of the second and third tier Justice League characters that were at the forefront of this. Hawkman, the Flash, both the Wally West and the Barry Allen, Zatanna, Ray Palmer, the Atom, Green Arrow, and then Black Canary. And so it was a really cool cast that they put together, and they found a way to weave the different characters into it, like the big characters into it as well. Just a lot of cool stuff. And, I have consistently said that, I think Alex Ross was out of line for criticizing the story as heavily as he did, because this is excellent. So you should consider reading it. It's a good book to have. Also, I'll do the last two here because we're running out of time, and then we'll do the giveaway. So I think I shared on Instagram that the best Suicide Squad story that I've ever read was actually not a Suicide Squad title. Villains United was one of the miniseries surrounding the release of Infinite Crisis, and so this took the Silver Age team Secret Six, and it revamped them with like not even D-level villains from the Marvel Universe. I mean, Deadshot is pretty well known. He was one of them. Cheshire is kind of well known. But then the rest of the team were ones that I had not even paid attention. Now, I'd always liked the Catman character, but Gail Simone, who is the writer who handled this group, she completely reinvented the character. He had been turned into a laughingstock in the pages of Green Arrow after he had been beaten numerous times by Batman. He was originally a Batman villain, and that debuted in the Silver Age, and then he was defeated by Batman, then he was defeated by Green Arrow, and he finally went off into the jungle. And it was originally the story was that he died, but the way she revives it and is really, really well done. So Villains United, it's a 6-part series, and it stars these 6 characters. This is some of the best team writing I have ever read in comic books. The banter, the subplots, the romance, the drama, the conflict between these 6 characters, it's top-notch. Gail Simone at her best, at her very best. And one of the most beautiful things about it is that as you're reading it, these are 6 characters that nobody cared about. Nobody cares about them one bit. But by the end, by the climactic end, not all of them make it through, so that makes it a great Suicide Squad story. But by the end, we are rooting for these, quote-unquote DC villain losers to not just survive, but emerge victorious. And so it's just got a fantastic, it's so good. So Villains United, highly recommended. I'm thankful for it because it showed me that it's not the character that makes a great story, meaning, it's the writing of the story and the writing of the character, the handling of the character, that's what makes the story great. You want to talk about a book that did, Southern Comic Geek, you want to talk about a book that didn't have any of the big names in it. All the big names in this one are either antagonists or they're just popping in for cameos. So, beautiful book, great, a lot of fun to pick up. I found this copy for my reading at a Half Price Books for like $4 or $5. Yeah, it was only $13 when it's published. So that's a great one. Last one, I'll share. Last one, and then I'll pass it on. We'll bring everybody out for the last giveaway. Okay, so this one's going to be out there. So the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was a title in which Alan Moore, who we know from Watchmen, teamed up with Kevin O'Neill to deliver famous literary characters as we've never seen them before, and even more so, combining them as a team. Now, it's stellar writing. It really is. Now, it's not for everybody, and there's definitely some content issues here, some grisly deaths, and some very, very adult behavior. But the neatest thing about it, the reason I'm thankful for it was it showed that even the characters that people don't really remember or pay attention to anymore can still have life, handled correctly by a good writer. This is Captain Nemo from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This is the Invisible Man. This is Mina Harker from Dracula. This is Alan Quatermain, who was the Indiana Jones predecessor. And then there's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And they make up this, and there's other characters that pop up as well, but they make up this very interesting this very interesting team that has to go on a mission to save the world. And now I've seen people do. There was an '80s one that somebody did some artwork of it, and it was just, oh God, I would buy that comic book. Like if they took '80s movie icon characters, like I think it had like Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science, Michael Knight from Knight Rider. If you took, like, it's just so cool. It shows that these characters that had fallen out of the limelight just needed to be dusted off and handled well for it to be, for them to still be compelling and something. And it's a very highly regarded book, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Please don't watch the movie. Don't watch the movie at all, because the movie is terrible. It's horrible representation of. It's kind of like Starship Troopers. It's just not a good representation of the original literary work. All right, okay, so that's it. Cross is done talking, I promise. All right, hashtag 20 Smackers. If you haven't entered yet, now is the time to do it. We're going to be going ahead and giving away the $20 store credit, the second $20 store credit for Lone Star Heroes Comics and Toys. Too late. I watched it a long time ago. Brother, I am sorry for that. I wish I could give you that 90 minutes back. It had some excellent character design and some really cool set pieces and some amazing iconic shots, but it was almost unwatchable. And it was very, it was very sad. And I think the thing, Sean Connery had gone on record afterwards saying that he didn't understand superhero films, but it was just like people, like his agent and people were telling him, you need to do it because superheroes are the big thing. So he went ahead and did it, and then I just felt like he was completely taken advantage of in that situation. What's up, good nerds?
The thing is, I think he was supposed to do Lord of the Rings, and he thought that Lord of the Rings was going to be a flop. Oh,
yeah.
He was supposed to be Gandalf, and he turned it down. So Ian McKellen got the role, and he decided to do League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because of his, which is where Carlos, which is what Carlos is talking about. And then when the movie bombed, he was like, "I'm done with acting. I'm done."
He was like,
totally over.
And that's such, it's a tragedy.
Because, and the thing is, man, oh my God, had they done Lord of the Rings, I mean, Ian McKellen will always be my Gandalf. But could you imagine Sean Connery as Gandalf? He goes, "You want a few slaps? Here's a slap for you. A slap for you. You're a slap for you." We're gonna get a few.
It would have been unforgettable for so many reasons. But so read the books. If y'all haven't read the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, read it. It's so good. I actually pulled some of these books. I'm going to take them downstairs with me to read. Great books. All right, let's go ahead and do this last giveaway, and then we're going to remember it's $20. on anything you want at Lone Star Heroes Comics and Toys. I'll be in their stores this weekend. And yeah, here we go, folks. Good luck to everybody. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. Bam! Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, that's funny. Carlo!
Wolverado! Come on, Wolf. What is up, Wolverado? All right, Wolverado. So here's the deal. Like we were telling you earlier, but we were telling everybody earlier, this can be used on the live Friday night show. This can also be used on like in person if you happen to be at their store. You just the two of you each let Liz Barnes and Wolverado message me tonight, and then yeah, we'll coordinate how y'all want to handle it, because I'll be in their stores, at least a few hours each of the days, I think, this weekend. So I can definitely look for stuff for y'all. If there's certain things that you're looking for, and so on and so forth. And I might even live broadcast it because I've wanted to do that from their stores for a while. So so lots of cool stuff there. Kind of like supermarket sweep. I would so do one of those. We wanted to do I'm not going to give it away, but yes, there are cool things that we had ideas about that we haven't yet hatched. So congratulations to Wolverado. Congratulations to Liz Barnes. I did want to make sure and shout out, hey, we're all thankful for a lot of different things, and the guys have each shared some of that. I am especially thankful for my incredible wife, who over the past 48 hours, actually past 3 days, she's been a rock. She's been a foundation. We had a lot of stuff going on. I had some health issues, severe health issues, and but she just, she's like the Energizer Bunny. She just kept going. So she's getting a well-deserved night of sleep tonight. And then our oldest was sick with a fever, and it's just a lot of stuff. But she's amazing. I'm so thankful for her. I'm thankful for my oldest, Aberon, who is stationed at a Marine base and serving our country, and that's what he's going to be doing tomorrow. While all of us are meeting with family, he's going to be on duty just like always. So incredibly thankful for him and the life path that he's on. Also thankful for the 2 girls that y'all know. I think I've shared it before that they came into our lives 2.5 years ago as foster children, and they've become they've woven in and become part of our family, and now they're fully adopted and legally completely ours. So we're just crazy thankful for the 2 of them, and my dog. I'm crazy. I never thought I would be. I was so not the person that was like a dog, like a dog lover person. But all of a sudden one day we brought her home, and it's crazy how much I love that dog. But I'm thankful also for my mother that she's still here with us, and that she's going to get to celebrate with us. I'm thankful for family, expanded the folks I'll get to visit with tomorrow. I'm thankful for each and every one of you, for the friends in the community. I'm thankful for the panel, all the folks that continue to pop in, help out in different ways, including Shelby and Jen. Paul has been with this show since the very beginning, like coming up on 7 seasons now. Thankful for Weapon X and for Mr. Collector. Thankful for Southern Comic Geek. Thankful for Lone Star Heroes and their entire family, as they've been working like crazy this week to get the 3rd location ready for this weekend. Just super thankful for Tad and for Jody and for Sarah and the rest of them. And just incredibly thankful for God just blessing me the way he does. Is a totally way more than I deserve. So it's and his son Jesus and the sacrifice that he made to allow me into eternal life. It's a big deal for me. a big deal, and I'm incredibly thankful for it. And I try my best not to take for granted all these things, but I'm just human. So yeah, make sure to reach out to somebody tonight or tomorrow. Even if you can't be with them physically, make sure to reach out to somebody. Let them know what they mean to you. Because life is short. Life is it can be gone like that, and we not even realize it. And so reach out to people around you. Let them know that you're thankful for them. Let them know what they mean to you. Send them a little something, whether it's electronic or person, or physical, whatever. But hey, above all, y'all have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you back next week for our full slate of videos and live streams here on the channel. So it's Carl's Collects Comics signing out. We will see y'all next time. Thank y'all so much for being here tonight, folks.
Respect.
All right. Yes, dogs are awesome dagger cards. They are absolutely awesome. I never thought I'd get that attached to a pet. Didn't realize it. But all right, y'all take care. Have a good night. We will see you.
Bye.